Hello and welcome to the Kinetic Intelligence channel. My name is Mike Dementiev. I'm an expert in nonverbal communication and body language and a profiler. Here on this channel we are learning the language of our body and trying to understand how our movements, facial expressions, gestures affect the impression that we make on others. We continue the review of the Harry and Meghan series by Netflix. Today we are going to analyze the fourth episode. In case you haven't watched the first 3 episodes yet, the links to them will appear on your screen one by one. Please watch them to be aware of the context of the understand my approach to the review. We make quite a deep analysis. Firstly, we highlight the main motifs, which are racism, relations with the royal family, and Harry and Meghan's relations with the press. We are trying to figure out what exactly is the role of the press in this story. We also look at the characters' personal manifestations through their actions, which is pure psychology, through the way they build phrases, which is psycholinguistics and paraverbalics, and through their introbation, through the accents they put. Finally, we analyze their body languages, non-verbal communication and kinesics. We analyze it in detail and I show you shot by shot which elements influence our impressions. The directors and cameramen's work as well as their very hidden symbolism affect your perception. It will be very interesting. If you enjoy what I do, share my approach, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel and share these videos with the people who are interested in what is happening to the British royal family and its particular members. So we are starting the review of the fourth series. It is dedicated to the wedding. The wedding procession was quite luxury. The newlyweds are followed with an escort and Meghan is embarrassed. What's going on? Look at all these people. Oh my God. Look, she's really embarrassed. I don't think she's pretending here. This is the first time she gets that much attention. Look at the difference in the mood of the two brothers. William and Harry are still talking here. Look how their silhouettes affect our impression. Look, William is counting the steps with his nose, barely counting them. He's literally sweeping them. He's hunched over. Harry's nervous. He's cracking his knuckles. Look, as I'm doing now. What a pleasant sound, yeah? He's cracking his knuckles, but looks straight ahead. The silhouette strongly affects the overall impression. And if William would walked with a straight back, it would be much, much better. Harry is constantly returning to the motif of Diana's boy. I'm a Diana's boy, I'm a Diana's son. He covers himself with Diana's name and oftentimes gets benefit of this infantilism. And here again, the director is showing us that Diana is still with us. And for the audience, this love story is very tragic. So a pitiful context is created deliberately. There are lots of shots reflecting the atmosphere of the wedding and depicting Meghan's gorgeous dress. The church ceremony was really very beautiful, and the visual impression is just fantastic. That time Meghan said that she has lost her dad, which is not really true, and she asked Charles to walk her down the aisle. And Charles agreed. Then it turned out that it was Charles' idea to walk her down the aisle. And after all that, how can you say that you are not accepted to the family? I just don't get it. Here Charles doesn't look like a person who is forced to do something. He is actively involved in the ceremony and he really wants to make Meghan happy. There will be another moment when Charles played a huge role in the wedding. Stay on the channel and I'll talk about it a bit later. Look at Harry's expression when she's coming to the aisle. We can clearly see the desire in his eyes. He's dreaming about this wedding night, maybe. Harry is certainly proud of his wife. That's what he says. I'm a ginger, I don't deserve it. I'm spare, and look what I got, and how cool I am when I'm next to my wife. Harry is always willing to join something bigger than him. Take a look at my fiancée. Look what I found. Look what I found. And William's reaction here is very eloquent. He's kind of looking at Meghan, but as soon as they have an opportunity to meet eyes, he avoids that look. As soon as Meghan looks at the floor, he looks at her. As soon as he realizes that she might look at him and that their eyes can meet, like blink, blink, he pulls away and starts looking at the floor himself. At the same time, Harry is simply devouring her with her eyes. William is blinking, and his body shows us that he doesn't want to be here. Harry and Meghan, of course, are perfectly attuned. It's their wedding day. They've been waiting for it such a long time, and now everything worked out. Meghan is especially happy, and they have a great attunement, both visual and mouth ones. Their bodies are synchronized, and they are all leaning to each other, forming a kind of a dome. A very cool impression. There's also a second moment when Charles helped them a lot. As it turned out later, he called a gospel choir. That is, black singers, who sing very beautifully. Please note, Charles took Meghan out by the arm, and a black choir for the English church is singing. How can you say I was not accepted into the family? They didn't want me, they bullied me. On the contrary, they were glad to accept you, Meghan. This is probably the first time that a black choir is invited to such an event, and it was made to make Meghan happy. I think it's a great action on Charles' part. I checked that in Moscow, in my hometown, there is also a gospel team. I really want to listen to them singing, and I'd be glad to visit their concert. And by the way, it seems that they have only white singers, so it means that gospel music is beyond any boundaries. And Charles really helped a lot. He gathered them all, organized this concert, and it seems that people absolutely enjoyed the event. How did they talk about it? Listen up. Everyone was like, gospel choir, wonderful idea. As far as I remember, Meghan once said that it was her idea. But it all was done and organized by Charles. Harry demonstrates a direct confrontation here, like, yes, the chore is a great idea. We can see that. This is followed by stunningly beautiful shots of the end of the ceremony and of the entry into the family. Next, they go at awesome fireworks. Well, they really seem to accept her, and all of them seem to be really happy. Let's go next. We're shown the footage of the chronicle. Now I want you to pay attention to Philip's poise. Look how he is getting off the carriage. He's not looking down. He's looking straight. His glare is wide and commanding. We can feel the energy and strength of this man. Have a look. No humps, no looking around or at the feet. No sharp, angled looks. This is a man of decision. He has a wide glare. Just a pleasure to look at such a man. Please watch it one more time. Look how he's getting off the carriage. You can admire it endlessly. And now you may compare that to William. See these two shots? That is not only the posture, but also the look and where it is directed, and how wide the focus of your view. All these aspects affect the impression that we make. The story of Nottingham Cottage seems amusing to Harry, the 34-year-old boy. Listen up. Like everyone thought they lived in a palace, and the truth was that they lived in a tiny cottage, in a small cottage. Yeah, it was on a slight lean, and everything there seemed to be made of like for dwarfs. Well, you didn't pay for it. You live there for free, and even they give you money for everything, for all these parties and stuff. How can you complain? At the age of 34, you already have to be able to move out. This is how Meghan's suffering looked like. Yeah, suffering, of course. in quotation marks. Afterwards, she will say, like, it was so awful, so cramped, but again, the footage of the chronicles does not confirm it. These are not the shots that I found somewhere and added here. No, they are all shown in the episodes exactly like this. Who do they think we are? Do they take us for fools? It won't work. Netflix. The lack of space is reflected in the posture. Being in cramped conditions, I just want to squeeze myself. We can see an example of how he is devouring some kind of lunch. Let's get to the question about the attitude of the royal family to Meghan. We can go back and watch the footage. Like the Queen covers Meghan's knees with blanket, and Meghan remembers it with great warmth. It was grateful, and I felt that I'm a member of the family. I was filled with this gratitude. But if the Queen really disliked her that much, would she find a compromise with herself in such small details? To me, it seems that everything here was done absolutely instinctively, and the Queen was really kind, and they could find a common language with Meghan, so there was no any falsehood on the part of the Queen. But the more Meghan and Harry went out to the audience, the more people loved them, because Meghan was open. She hadn't begun to manifest her toxic side yet and show her claws to the British family yet. Here comes a quote. They were so popular with the public, the internals at the palace were incredibly threatened by that. She's becoming a royal rock star. Of course, she couldn't did it like the court didn't like it, and they have had to talk to Meghan about it to give her a hint. The tabloids started to write a lot of things on this topic immediately, and here goes Harry's favorite story, a long-standing line about Diana, like the same things were happening to his mom. Here we can see the monarchy's envy of Diana because of her popularity and love of the people. Indeed, it seems that this envy really existed, and Harry builds a straight bridge from what happened to his mother and what is happening to Meghan. But he desperately needs it to make Meghan a victim. Willingly or not, from time to time he helps her to plunge to this stinky bog in order to save her and to feel like a rescuer on a high horse. I made a detailed review of Diana's interview for the BBC. It's really old and I improved this quality to 4K. You should just watch it. There are lots of details that give out Diana's real feelings. The link should appear on the screen now. And Harry also says that there were the moments when his mom was crying in the car, then wiped her tears and went out to the public, pretending that everything was fine. We're giving the footage of the Chronicle which confirms it. Perhaps it was important for Charles that Diana felt bad. Perhaps he felt good against this background. And look, what a tricky montage. There is an immediate transition from sad and crying Diana to Meghan. Now we are shown her friend in an uncomfortable condition, and there is a transition to a close-up of Meghan. Look, there's uncomfortable condition of her friend who is shivering, taking up less and less space and feeling very bad, and here is a transition to Meghan's negative emotions. Harry is talking about the conflict between institutional Harry and husband Harry. He's using a lot of sharp and absolutely aimless gestures. That is, he has not worked on these illustrating gestures at all. That says a lot about this conflict. Harry is adapting through his lips. He is licking them a lot, compresses them when we are uncomfortable. That's what we usually do. Harry is kind of sad here. That is, he has a clear conflict between these two roles and eventually chose husband role, gradually refusing from institutional Harry. And here Harry throws a bomb saying, "My brother's office copies the same thing that we promised the two of us would never do. Here, the director deliberately shows us the pictures demonstrating the excellence of William. Take a look. Here, Harry's stick takes a lower position and William's a higher one, and his shoulder is visually bigger. We perceive William as a more dangerous person. And here, when he is chasing Harry, seemingly ready to stab him in the back, like in a famous miniature, again, these are all hidden symbols which the directors want us to perceive. Harry is swallowing a lot and fidgeting fingers nervously, which again creates a very tense atmosphere when he says about what happened to his brother William. Like, that was heartbreaking. Harry is very offended by the press and by the rules of his family. Here, Meghan is saying that the world was narrowing, nothing was allowed, everything was controlled, and to me it seems that they just need to do things in a proper manner. Now we see the traditional Harry's self-removal, self-exclamation. Very often, when Meghan feels bad, he withdraws into himself to do digested. She doesn't feel sufficient support from his side. What kind of a rescuer he is? Let's watch fragments about Archie and the pressure of the family. Like the pressure of the picture with Archie on the steps. Indeed, they did not present the baby immediately, although it's a traditional procedure. Here's required to be presented at the steps of the maternity hospital. Meghan did not do that. She gave birth in a Portland hospital, and they didn't send a film crew there because some difficulty occurred. It was necessary to block the street or something. So they missed this moment, and Meghan showed the baby 2 days later, although other royal mothers showed their babies immediately. The people who gathered to look at the hair were left with nothing, and even though 2 days later the child was still shown, they were really disappointed with Meghan. As they wrote, someone in the media, actually it was Twitter, and it was a person called Danny Baker. It's clear who it is. It's clear where it is. So this Danny posted a meme, royal baby leaves hospital. Well, it's really very rude, I agree, very, very rude, but it is presented by Netflix in such a way as if anonymous person posted it in the media. It's not the media, it's just a person on Twitter. So what? When the dogs bark, the camels just keep working. You shouldn't pay so much attention to it. It's clear that there always will be haters. Here's another interesting point for you. Meghan's infantilism. She says that her mom has lived with them for a month, but then it turned out there was no one to help them with Archie. My mom has lived with us for a whole month, but there was no one to help Archie with me. What a surprise, surprise. Come on. There are adults. Her mother has lived with them for a month, and then it turned out that there was no one to help with the child. Oh my God, what should we do now? Who is to blame? Could you have thought in advance that you need a babysitter? Or maybe Meghan could even handle it herself? No problem. But when she says that there was no one to help with Archie, we can see a clear concealment. We can see her reaction. Yes, I really like to zoom. This is a clear concealment. She's somehow distorting the information. And I'm sure of that. Either she knew what to do, either there was already some person when they're looking for, and this whole thing is done for excessive dramatization. I don't really sympathize with liars. There are lots of inserts about how she helps the black population. This is how she formulates it. I am here with you as a mother, as a wife, as a woman of color, and as your sister. Does she look like their sister at all? Does she look like a woman of color? And everyone is clapping, of course. Well, why not to clap? Again, they return to this analogy, and if Meghan was kind of Diana's reincarnation, Harry supports her. No one in my family was speaking so openly, but at the same time his shoulder is twitching, and he is blinking a lot. I'll find it now. Here it is. Here we can see a series of blinking. When he is nervous or lying, this blinking come out very, very clearly. And in the end, we can see a very proud chin. Look, if I communicate with you like this, do you like it or not? Write in the comments. My pathetic viewers. Ha ha ha. That was a joke. Can you see that how facial expression and body language are a powerful tool? Harry, being unaware of it, gives away a lot of information. We're reminded about Diana once again. She was not so silent as well. She spoke openly. So Meghan is the new Diana. This is the end of the 4th episode. There wasn't much useful information there, but I hope you could learn something new. The media machine continues to publish articles about Meghan and Harry, truthful or not, and we will continue to review the series too. See you in the review of the 5th episode. I hope you liked it. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and share my reviews with those who are interested in the behavior of the British royal family members and ordinary people as well. I have a lot of interesting things on the channel. Let your friends come and find something interesting and new. That was the Kinetic Intelligence channel and me, Mike Dementiev. Bye.